Last year, Charlie XCX tweeted, "What is hyperpop?"
Comments ranged from full-blown deconstructions of genre to "it's just pop," to many simply answering, "you."
Though the micro-genre turned online scene has experienced many changes over its short lifespan, there's no one way to define hyperpop. Ask anyone from the scene, and they'll give you a different answer.
Pop music is constantly evolving, and hyperpop seems like the next logical step.
In this video, we're going to dig into the question, what is hyperpop, by exploring its musical origin. And at the end, we're going to make our own hyperpop inspired track. So make sure to stick around.
Got me thinking and I'm looking at you.
Like most things on the internet, hyperpop has evolved rapidly over the years.
Recently, its popularity has grown from playlists on Spotify and Apple Music, and many hyperpop tracks have caught fire on TikTok.
Going viral, I feel like, is something that also is linked to hyperpop in a way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I feel like viral things are typically things that just like people don't understand at first. That quest to understand these things, I think, is like the funnest part about it. Like understand this music and be like, all right, why did someone ever make something that sounds like this? I hate it. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, this actually slaps really hard.
Yeah, I'm thinking about this. I'm listening to this in the shower. Why is this so catchy? That's what happened to me. Then I got TikTok recently and I was like, whoa, this is like the sound of a generation.
So where did hyperpop come from?
Hyperpop's origins can be traced back to the mid-2000s with the rise of the nightcore scene on YouTube. Nightcore is a genre that revolves around increasing the pitch and tempo of pre-existing songs and is often paired with anime visuals or cover art.
According to Spotify analyst Glenn MacDonald, the term hyperpop started being used in reference to the UK-based PC Music Collective in 2014, which was founded by producer A.G. Cook.
Just like many other new genres, many critics did not respond well to the fresh sound.
In the 2010s, PC Music and its artists such as Hannah Diamond, Danny L. Harrell, Girlfriend of the Year, and Kanye West created innovative pop music defined by its blend of perky melodies and frenetic digital production.
But I think having really heavy hitting drum samples is really important, and really like focusing on the sound design, having this sort of like crystalline, like it's sort of this balance between these hyper like shiny sounds and these super distorted, messed up sounds.
Do you feel like that distortion is what differentiates hyperpop from regular pop?
I think that's definitely one of the clearest things. I think from a technical standpoint, from mixing and mastering, like when I'm mastering a hyperpop song, I'm taking the limiter and I'm smashing it because that's the sound.
Many of the newer figures in hyperpop have taken the exaggerated eclectic elements laid down by PC music and combined them with hip hop, like the sounds of cloud rap.
SoundCloud has played a monumental role in the birth and growth of hyperpop, and it's given smaller hyperpop artists a place to share their music with the world.
Artists Osquin, previously known as Parker, Sebi, and Saturn are influenced by mid-2010s SoundCloud emo rap like Young Lean, and more mainstream artists like Playboi Carti. Artists like Dollywood One, Black Winterwells, and Kid Trash are more focused on heavily distorted 808s, playful melodies, and unnatural autotune, creating a blend of rap, pop, and EDM. Probably the most influential figure in the hyperpop scene is Scottish producer Sophie.
She's in everything. All of these songs that exist now, there is like some piece of her that is within it, in this kind of like almost like spiritual way for me. And I think, Arca, it was always like queer and trans artists who were at the forefront.
Sophie was obsessed with the way a bubble has an ascending pitch when popped. You can hear Sophie play around with this sound on tracks like Lemonade.
Candy boys, cup, candy boys. Lemonade.
Sophie's debut album, The Oil of Every Pearl's Uninsides, received high acclaim for its continued evolution of sound.
The album was even nominated for the Best Dance/Electronic Album at the 2019 Grammys.
Sophie tragically passed away January 2021 at the age of 34 after an accidental fall.
After the news of the accident reached the hyperpop community, many artists came together on social media to mourn the loss of one of their greatest influences.
While hyperpop was brewing, Charli XCX was already a rising pop figure, looking to evolve her sound.
Charli rose to prominence in the UK warehouse rave scene and admired artists such as Justice and Uffy. Now, she wanted to create music that reflected her roots. After penning an email to producer Sophie in 2015, they began collaborating on her 2016 EP, Vroom Vroom. When Charli first released Vroom Vroom, it was met with a lot of confusion, and critics were quick to write it off. In 2016, A.G. Cook became Charli's creative director. He would go on to produce her next 4 projects: Number 1 Angel, Pop 2, Charli, and How I'm Feeling Now. Pop 2 is considered by many to be the blueprint of hyperpop, and everything that PC music has been leading up to.
Hyperpop hit mainstream awareness with the creation of the Hyperpop Spotify playlist in August 2019.
Lizzie Szabo, the playlist's main curator, created the playlist in response to the unexpected success of 100 gecs' debut album, 1000 gecs.
They had tested some of the group's songs on different playlists, but felt their unique sound needed its own place. And so came the birth of the Hyperpop playlist.
If it wasn't for Spotify playlists and the articles that were coming out at the time, the community of friends and the people I was making music with slowly, bit by bit, started getting recognition by one artist, by another. They generally started to build a following for themselves. But a lot of people use hyperpop, not even used, but a lot of people were, that label really was thrown on us. We really was just making music, like SoundCloud kids making music from our bedrooms. And then afterwards, it grew and bloomed into something even bigger than I think any of us ever expected it to be.
The playlist was a hit, and now has over 240,000 subscribers, making it one of the most popular on the entire platform.
A few months later, controversy struck when A.G. Cook did his own takeover of the playlist and added different artists,
including Iggy Azalea, Madonna, Vince Staples, Nicki Minaj, and Kate Bush, all of whom don't exactly fit under the hyperpop umbrella.
Not only did his choices bump many smaller artists of color off the playlist, but it caused lots of confusion around what exactly constitutes hyperpop.
Cook later defended his choices in a Twitter statement and claimed he didn't know these artists would be taken off of the playlist. He then issued a revised version of the playlist that included more underground acts.
To many, hyperpop is more than just a genre, but an online-centered community and movement.
I think hyperpop is sort of like an umbrella for a ton of smaller communities. Like, I feel like I'm part of like several very like niche small communities that all kind of exist under the world of hyperpop.
In 2021, the term digicore came about after emerging from SoundCloud. Unlike its ancestors of PC music, which is mainly white, digicore is made up of mostly queer people of color.
Hyperpop kind of got thrown on us when a lot of the more major eyes and bigger companies started to see just everything like start to shoot up.
This whole world of SoundCloud music.
Yeah, it was starting to be discovered. But digicore is the one that a lot of people went with because it was like a lot of the songs that people make in the hyperpop scene aren't pop at all. It's hyper electronic. It's hyper ambient. It's hyper drum and bass.
Yeah.
It's never really pop.
When I think of hyperpop, I'm thinking of a lot of stuff going on at the same time. I'm thinking of simple melodies occurring at the same time. Just listening to hyperpop, I could see all of the sub-genres that go under that huge umbrella of hyperpop.
I don't know if this is gonna be right, but I feel like it's not wrong, you know?
And I think that's like the whole hyperpop attitude is just like, we're not really aiming for what's right. We're just aiming for what feels good. There ain't no wrong answers.
Yeah.
That's what I'm discovering. It's like, there are no wrong answers. There it go. There it go. What you did with the vocals. The sentiment behind the lyrics too, like you think that you're the dude, like it's like it has some spice to it.
I was admiring the way that these hyperpop artists are using like production as a way to express their emotions when they're songwriting. Like I just thought it was really cool.
That's crazy. One more thing. We want to invite you to take the PBS Digital Studios annual audience survey. It helps us a lot if Soundfield fans participate. You even get to vote on potential new shows. There's a link in the description below, and if you have a few minutes, we would love your input. Thanks.